Hi, this is Josh is Making Music, and I wanted to show you just a quick walkthrough of how I might make a little beat using this. So this is called the Pocket Operator KO, or PO-33. It is a pocket-sized sampler and sequencer. What does that mean? Basically, using this device, I can record audio through here or through the built-in microphone, and then take samples of it, cut it up, and use it if I wanted to make beats. Now, it comes with some built-in sounds, but if you're anything like me, you're not going to be particularly interested in those. The ability to sample audio is what was most interesting to me about this device. Now, at the time that I got it, I hadn't seen many videos kind of going through the procedure of making beats on it. There were some, but I thought that I would make one just very quickly going through and showing how I do this. Now, the first step to sampling anything on here is I'm going to hold down the sound button. That's this little squiggly thing, and tap for the number where I want to record. These top 8 tracks are melodic tracks. These lower 8 from 9 to 16 are drum tracks. I'll get into that in a little bit. Now, I've selected track 5. For instrumentals, I've decided to record a bit from a song called Blue Dawn by Pierre Harvey. So I'm going to hold down this little asterisk, the record button, and the track, and then play the audio. All right, so now if I press this key right here, the 5, it'll play it back. Cool. So with these knobs right now, I can change things like the volume of the sample, I can change the pitch of the sample. If you change the pitch, it's also going to change the speed, so just something to keep in mind. So great, so I've got a melodic sample. Now I'm going to shift to a drum track. When you record into a drum track, what the Pocket Operator does, it runs like a little algorithm on the audio you record and figures out where the isolated drum samples are and kind of chops it up into 16 bits. So for this one, I am going to be sampling just the beginning of a song by the Honey Drippers called Impeach the President, because it has some really nice drums right at the beginning. So like before, I'm going to hold record, and I'm going to hold the track 13, and then I'll play the audio.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have the Honey Drippers tonight.
All right, and now if I start hitting these keys, it caught a little bit of the ladies and gentlemen there. All right. Now, what I had in mind was actually just to take this whole sample here and add some drums there. So I'm likely going to cut. What I'm going to do now is, I'm going to figure out the tempo so that I can match that to the sample. So I will see you in just a moment. Right, so I've come back. I figured out that it was going at around 120 beats per minute. Now, what I've done is I've selected this sound, and if I hit this little white button here, the right button, and then I tap the beat that I want the note to be triggered on when I hit play, it'll play that sample every time it gets to the little one there. All right, so now that I've got that, I'm going to do a little bit more with the sound. So I have this part at the beginning, the da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da, and I want it to go right from that to the, here, I'll play the sample so you can hear the little high piano note. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this sound from sound 5 into sound 7. So I'm going to hold the sound key, I'm going to hold the right key, and then I'm going to tap 7, boop, and it's copied. So now if I go to 7, awesome. Now, part 2 is I'm going to trim it. So if I hit FX here, it'll go, it has filter and then TRI, which is trim. So I'm going to trim using this knob, the start of it. Let me see. Cut off a little bit too much. Perfect. All right. So now I'm going to switch patterns. Right now I'm in pattern 1. I'm going to go to pattern 2 by holding the pattern button and hitting 2. Boink. And now I'm in pattern 2. So I want to add that. So I'm going to hit, again, right. And I'm going to tap, let's see, I'll add it here on 1. I'm going to jump back to pattern 1 really quick. Okay, so I think that that's going to be enough for the melodic tracks. Now I'm going to get to the drums. So for the drums, I'm going to hit sound and 13. This is where it took all those samples for the drums and chop them up and put them down here. So what I'm going to want is I'm going to want the kick, let's see, and the snare. And I am going to, so I'm going to tap the kick and hit right, and then I'm going to add so I added beats on 1, 3, 7, 9, 11, and 15. So if I play this now, it'll sound like this. And I've decided that I don't like that. So I'm going to take them out. All right, I decided to put them on these ones instead. As you can probably tell, while I did script out some of this, I wanted to try and go into it not having already made the beat, so I could really show what it was like making the beat from scratch. All right, so anyway. So now I've just added a pretty simple boom, boom, ch, boom, 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 ch. I'm not a great beatboxer. Anyway, I mentioned before that the Pocket Operator does have some built-in sounds. So I'm going to go and check and see where I can find a nice hi-hat. And I'm going to try adding that in where I originally had the kick drum. All right. So that sounds good. So I'm going to hit pattern and 2, and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to go to sound 13, add in that kick on 1, 5, and 13. Then I'm going to add in that snare on 9 and switch to instrument track 9 and add the bop 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 bop. So you might have heard, I noticed when I played it, that it sounded like that sample was off a little bit, so I'm gonna hit boop, boop, effects, trim, and let's try it one more time. All right. Now, other things that I would like to do on this track 7, this instrument, or melodic track, is I would like to make it a bit louder. So I'm going to hit effects until it's TON for tone. And when it's on tone, this knob will control volume. So now I'm going to take that out and then just add it back in. All right. So I have now these two patterns, pattern 1 And so what I'm going to do next is chain them. So I'm going to hold the pattern and then tap them in the order I want them to play. So I'm going to do, I think, da 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 da. Alright, so I set it so that it'll play pattern 1 4 times and pattern 2. So now if I hit play, it's going to go through, and then it'll go. Sounded like I put something in wrong there. I realized what the issue was. Since this sample is still playing, it was playing its little din din part. So I'm gonna hit FX and trim the ending of it. And let's see. All right, perfect. And I'm going to do the same with sound 7. All right, last thing I'm going to change. On here, I'm going to go through so that I'm on trim. And just let it go for a little bit longer. Let's listen to that one more time. There we go. All right. So I hope you enjoyed that walkthrough of just making a simple beat on the Pocket Operator. If you did, definitely leave a comment. Let me know. Sorry, there was a lot of meandering with the controls and all that. Like I said, I definitely wanted to make something that felt a little bit more like I wanted to make it on the fly. I didn't want to have something prepared. If you're at all interested in one of these, I do recommend them. Teenage Engineering is not paying me to say that because I'm a very small YouTuber and also because I bought this myself. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed. Thanks. Bye.